Hey everyone, Coach Tyler here from FitBod Institute, coming at you with a quick video breakdown on some research. And these videos are just targeting some very common scenarios or questions that I get from clients of mine. And so as for someone who has been a coach for 10 years, I really do like to make sure that answers are evidence-based and kind of what we know in regards to the questions being asked. And so the topic here today we're going to be talking about is, should we be training in a fasted or fed state? So very common scenario that we're going to see across the board. A lot of people do like to train earlier in the morning before work, before school, and I know that can be quite a difficult time for someone to get some food in. Now this scenario may not play a huge role in those who do train a little bit later in the day, as chances are you will have had some food in you, but it's still a very important topic to consider and a question to answer. And so the paper that we're going to be looking at actually just came out in March 2025 and does provide us some context in which direction that we do want to go. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the design of the study. You'll see a little graphic here showing you what the types of things that we are looking at. But as you can see, we had one group who was training fasted 10 to 12 hours overnight. The other group is that fed group where they're going to have a carbohydrate-rich meal about 1 to 2 hours prior to a workout, which again is quite common for most people who are training later in the day. Both groups were training twice a week, as well as their calories were being controlled by the research group. So a very well-designed study in that aspect to allow us to sparse some of that data out. So now that we have the setup, what were they actually looking at? Because that's also going to be pretty important for us who are training and going after certain goals. So again, as you can see here up on the screen, we were looking at a few things that certainly all of us are going to be paying attention to. And what that is going to be is their body composition, quadricep thickness, a 1 RM strength and bench press, knee extension, as well as some muscle power output before and after those 12 weeks. So as you can tell, everyone wants to be a little bit stronger and look a little bit better and build a little bit more muscle. And so the results after those 12 weeks is results were pretty par across the board. There wasn't actually a big difference between the two groups, which to me was a little surprising, as I always do tend to fall on the side of having a little bit of food is probably going to be a little bit better for ourselves within our training session, since glycogen is the primary energy source that we're using while we are training. But as we can see here with the research, as long as we are in a well-fed state, whatever's actually going to work best for yourself and your context is what we're actually going to want to pay attention to. And again, as much as I do fall upon the side of having a little bit of food is better, I do always want to leave it open to my client to experiment with and see what fits best for them and what they feel best on as well. And so if you are someone that does train a little bit earlier in the morning, I'll always want to try and start with a little bit of food. Okay, whether it's some toast with some peanut butter and jam, a bowl of cereal, a little bit of Gatorade you can sip on, during your drive to the gym. Something though that is going to be light, digestible, easy on the stomach, and something that we're going to get some quick energy from. And from there, we'll experiment for a couple of weeks. And what we'll do is really monitor how they're feeling. Do they notice a better bump in energy? Do they feel a little bit stronger in the gym? Are they recovering overall a little bit better? Those are the types of things that we are going to be looking at and trying to get some feedback and pull some data out of, because everyone is going to be a little bit different. And there certainly have been those clients in the past where they do just feel better training a little fasted. And that's okay too, not only from a flexibility lifestyle point of view, but according to some of the research we have here, like we talked about today, we are going to be okay. Now, I do think it is important to note that whether we are training in a fasted or fed state, we do want to make sure we have proper post-workout nutrition, so a protein and a carbohydrate, so that we can begin to induce recovery within that post-workout period. And of course, overall nutrition and calories and our macronutrients is still going to be king. And so we do want to make sure that we are eating enough food for our goal. And if that is to build a little bit of muscle, increase our overall strength, then we do need to make sure that we're eating enough food at maintenance and or in a caloric surplus. But as long as we are doing those things, you are more than likely going to be okay. Now, one last thing that should be stated before we wrap up here is that this study was done on some untrained youth. And so while that may seem a little detrimental to what we talked about, because untrained, no matter what age they are going to see fairly massive improvements within their first few months of training due to the novel stimulus of training, we can still extrapolate some of that data, but it still is important to go if we are training at a higher frequency and we are a little bit more on the advanced side, to continue with that experimentation and really find what's going to work best for yourself. So to quick wrap it up, just some practical takeaways here. Be flexible, experiment, see what's going to work best for you, whether it's that fed or fasted state. Take stock of your overall nutrition and your goals. Make sure that they are fitting with each other. And if you are a little bit more of an advanced athlete and training a little bit more frequently, make sure that you are picking the correct route that is going to help make you feel your best and allow you to recover your best in between your training sessions. And so that's going to be it for today, guys. Appreciate you watching. If you found this insightful and helpful, just make sure to hit that subscribe button for future fitness related research breakdowns here.